I was going to share my camera.
Yes.
You,
I heard from Akio it didn't show up on the video.
yes,
Right.
that's because you invited me to share my camera through Citrix.
Okay.
So um, maybe today or tomorrow we can do the same, but instead of clicking on the camera from the go to training,
Yes.
I open up
A window.
my own window, exactly, and I put
Perfect.
it on top of Rhino.
Great. Great. Well, here's something interesting, Andreas. If you go over to the panel on the side
Yes.
of the screen, there is a web browser. So I don't know if that helps at all.
Hmm.
If your camera feeds to a web window, then it'd be interesting to see. That is a way to play videos and have
Hmm.
it. Anyway, something to think about. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
it
We
helps
will.
or not.
Yeah. Anyway, we will try later. So because you can under Windows 10,
Hmm.
I didn't know this, but it looks like you have a whole bunch of apps that you can download for
Okay.
Windows 10.
Okay.
And one of those apps is called the camera.
Hmm.
So you download that, and it's part of Microsoft, Windows 10, and it can access the camera that you have on your computer. But if you put that inside, like the Rhino interface,
Hmm.
the one that we are broadcasting,
Yes.
it goes through the
The video.
whatever,
Yeah.
yeah, through the video, and it gets saved.
Great. So, do you just drag it over on top of the monitor that you're sharing?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, very interesting. We have a few minutes if you want to run a test.
Oh, you
Sure.
are looking at my camera now, right?
I'm looking at your Rhino screen.
Okay,
Okay,
so
now I see
let's
the
see.
camera. Yeah, there we go.
So notice that this is a camera and this is video,
Yes.
and I can set this to maybe a slower resolution
Mm-hmm.
there, and we can even make it smaller.
Huh. No, that works great. So
So
sorry about
so
that, pushing that
yeah,
button.
so this is what everybody was able to see it yesterday, right?
Right.
But it didn't go to the video.
Right.
So um,
So you have the power. Whenever you want to share your camera, you can pick your
oh
camera
yeah,
app.
that would be
And
cool.
I won't
That
help.
will be
I
cool.
won't help this time.
Oh, I will look around to see what type of models we have created, and maybe I can show it because it makes a lot of sense. People ask, how can I use this in a
Right.
real
Mm-hmm.
situation? Yeah.
Maybe you have some jewelry examples or
Mm,
not really.
Sergio, no,
So you're
Sergio might have that. Actually, if I go to my Dropbox,
fine. Mm-hmm.
there, uh, yeah, I have few things
Some
like this one.
renderings
Let me
or
see
okay.
if I can open it up.
Oh yeah, those
There.
are amazing. Did you see the ones that were posted out to the Grasshopper website? The hearts that were,
Yes,
weren't those
yes,
beautiful?
yes.
I saw those this weekend.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's nice too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Those are really, yeah, those are really nice.
Now, are those
Yeah.
just grasshopper and rhino, or are they
A
rhino gold
combination.
combination? Okay.
No, 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 rhino gold. This is grasshopper.
Hmm.
And
That's
so if,
cute.
yeah, if you notice, this one would be one of those that could use that plugin that they posted today or yesterday, with all those pipes inside.
Yes, yes. Okay, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the name of
Of
it?
the
New plugin?
uh I can look at it because I posted that on my Facebook account. So if I go, well, it will be faster to go to the Rhino, to the Grasshopper.
Because I just cannot. I remember seeing it go by, but there's so much that goes by.
Yeah,
I cannot.
it
Oh, I
looks,
can look for it, but I just don't remember right now. Okay.
yeah. So let me get a glass of water and I'll
Okay,
be
we'll be
back in
back in.
1 minute.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Welcome back, class. Let's go ahead and get started. Are there any questions that we want to cover before Andreas takes over with today's work? I know he has a lot planned, so if it's something that I can help out in the background, we can cover it in the chat. Najod, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Najou. You say that no, very good, very good. Thank you. So you say that you want to know when we bake a model in Grasshopper and then to Rhino and build some models, it doesn't work and you don't know why. Maybe it would help for us to see the model, Niju, that's not baking. If it is a surface or a curve, you can bake it. If it's any other component, it probably doesn't have bake on it. Do you have any ideas, Andreas?
No, but it looks like he's already sending the information to Rhino.
Okay.
It says when I send it to Rhino, I can now work on it.
Oh,
There are two things that happen to me all the time. Even when I do and I prepare a demonstration, and I can show it to you. And I hope, this might fix a problem. Let's say I have a box, which is a B-rep, right? I have a surface, and please do not copy my beautiful designs. These are copyrighted, right? So I have those two. And somehow I was trying to select few points, and notice where I put the points. So I go, really happy and open up the filters, and I say, oh, let me right click and only select the points. So notice that I can make a crossing window, and I only select the points. Beautiful. Let's say I want to move them up here. There, I am really happy, and I continue working, and I send the information back from Grasshopper to Rhino, and I come to Rhino, and I cannot select anything. Notice? And I always, almost every day, I go, oh my God, yes, I forgot to disable the filters. So now I am able to select. Maybe that's the problem. The other thing is that you might have a layer where you are baking some objects, and that layer is either frozen or hidden. So you cannot see or select those objects. So, as Mary says, we do have to see what it is that you are baking, and after we see that, if we can work with it, we will let you know. If we cannot work on them, we will get help from the software developers. All right, so everybody is ready. We are gonna go the first 2 or 3 minutes really slow, and then we will wake up and start going a little bit faster. One of the components that I love to cover in every single class is this one. Under sets, under the list, I love to play with the sort list. So drag and drop drag and drop one of these. And we're going to place it right there. So I got the sort list from sets and the list. Perfect. And what is it that we are going to sort? Well, most people think that they can only sort numbers and they stick to it. But there are many ways to get numbers out of a geometry. So I would like you to go to the front viewport. Remember, this is the front viewport. Front. Okay? So everybody should be there. I'm going to erase and go back to normal. And right here, I would like you to draw with either polyline, control point, or interpolated, maybe 1, 2, and 3 curves. All right? So I have 3 freeform curves in the front viewport. Perfect. Now I want to select all of them. So right click, set multiple curves, and select all of them. At this point, let's say I do not know in which order I drew those curves. So if I want to make a loft out of those 3, I do have to be very careful how to select those curves. But most of the cases, somebody writes a definition and somebody else is going to use your definition. So you cannot be all the time, telling people, be careful, write or draw those in order. So here we go. What I'm going to do is go under curves and I'm going to find out the endpoints of those curves. Perfect. So we find the endpoints, and let me move this so I get more space for my grasshopper. And once we have the endpoints, I want to explode each one of those points. So we can visit the vector tab, and there you see deconstruct. So I'm going to explode all these points. And if you hover on top of each one of these, you see a list of numbers. And that's what we are looking for. We are looking for those numbers. Now, in this case, it's quite easy to see that I want to sort the curves based on the z value, the distance from the floor to each one of these points. But let's say that you want to be changing that condition very often. So let me give you an idea. How about if we go to params, drag and drop a value list. right there. And this value list is going to let us choose in which direction we want to filter all those curves. So right-click, edit, and here we go. Delete. So option A is the X direction, the X value, and that's going to be equals to 0. Option B is going to be the Y-axis, and that's equal to 1. And the one that we are going to use in this exercise is the Z value, and that is going to be equal to 2. So there we have option A, filter the values of X. Option B, sort all the values for Y. And C is the one that we are going to use in this exercise. So if we hit OK, notice that we have all the options available to us. All we need is to connect under sets a stream filter. So drag and drop a stream filter. You find it over here. Let me move this one just a little bit. Right there. They are on sale today, so you can buy one and get one free. But be careful, we only have 2 inputs. We need one more. So here we go. This is quite easy. X goes to gate 0. The list of values of Y goes to 1. And the list of values of Z go to 2. Excellent. So now we can connect the value list, and this is what we want to sort, the values. So in this case, make sure you select the Z. So we are sorting these values. And if you look at the output, they are in order: 12, 23, 36. Beautiful. There. But the beauty of the sort component is that it does not only sort the values, but also if we connect the list of curves to A, is going to sort the curves based on the order that the sort all these values. All right? Yes, Newman, on our class on level 101, Introduction to Rhino, we usually go to Files, open up the Preferences, and under Preferences, under Widgets, if you scroll down, notice that on my computer, this is my computer, I have set 400. Usually, I believe by default is 300. But 300 bothers me a lot because I do have a 1080p monitor, so I have a very good resolution. And now that we are here, I also would love for everybody, if you click on the interface, this is really important. This is how I like to set my interface, so all the icons are available for me. Also, this one is very important because if you open an old definition, Grasshopper will pinpoint those components that you have to replace. All right? And I hope you understand this one. If you are under 18, that we didn't check that today, Mary. Maybe we have a teenager in the class. You do have to move this slider maybe to the middle. Yes, we will check for ID tomorrow. All right? We are really polite in this class, but we don't. We sometimes we bring some icons that are not suitable for teenagers. So that's what they say, but be careful. So I'm going to leave it to none. Perfect. So make sure you have those. And also on the viewport, I love to check this one. Do display the gumball whenever I have points made by Grasshopper. So sometimes from Grasshopper I can see the gumball on and off. So I love to do this on my Grasshopper every time that I work with it. And if you notice, under files, I have the possibility down here, all of these, I have the possibility right there to have my own template. And on my own template, I also, add few things that I know I will be using all the time. So you can, as in Rhino, you might have your own templates. So you can do the same in Grasshopper. So please take advantage of all of these little things that, are really handy. Perfect. So I'm glad we went over all of that. So now that we have the sort, and the sort arrange my curves, I can easily loft all of them. Very easy. You see that? I can come over here and move this curve up here and no problem. Look at that. Move this one to the bottom, no problem. Try to do that in Rhino and you will get something really weird. So right there, you are putting a little bit of intelligence to the way the loft has to organize all those curves. So this is a very small definition, but we are going to use it today in another larger definition. So now you don't have excuses that you didn't know how the sort component will work. Perfect. So I'm going to save this one. This one goes to day 2001, sort curves. Question. Let's say I have this type of geometry. Which properties of those objects I could use to sort them out? Give me two of them. Area, centroid, one more. Endpoints, nah, that could be. I didn't think about it. The left corner, that will be interesting to find, but yes, that will be it. So yes, you can also the length of one of the edges. The perimeter, so there you go. You get extra coffee tomorrow. Oh, Francisco, there you go, the perimeter. So there are many ways to find that information, okay? So I'm going to delete this, and nobody told me, this is my mistake, to internalize the curves. So there, I internalize it and save it. Perfect. So let's do a little exercise and delete everything. So I'm going to close, start a brand new definition, go back to the front, and in the front, I am going to draw a rectangle. Rectangle, the first corner at 0. Enter. The second corner, if you are working in inches, type 36. If you are working in inches, but you want to use the metric system, you can type something like 100 cm or 1 meter. There. Perfect. So 36 by 24 inches. There, we have the rectangle. So that's the piece of wood that we are going to use in order to make the profile of my chair. And we're going to do many things with the chair. And we did this exercise only maybe half of it in level 101, in the introduction to Rhino, but we are going to take it even to another level. So in another layer, maybe blue, I am going to draw with interpolated the profile of my chair. And 2, 3, 4. There is the profile of my chair. So since we are in Miami, whoever gets to make the most beautiful chair gets to go during the weekend to Miami Beach. Is that fair? Perfect. So let me delete the rectangle. We don't need it. I just wanted to see that I would not get out of that area because maybe that's the area of my CNC machine. So let me delete it. Perfect. We have the profile. Let's pass that really fast to Grasshopper. Right click, set one curve. I am going to Control G, select the path for the chair. Excellent. The second step that we want to do is to measure. So we go to curves, division, and I am going to use divide distance. Be careful. Be careful with the component that you select. All right? So we are going to divide this with, let's make a numeric slider that goes from 0.5, that's like half an inch, like 2 centimeters and a half, to maybe, I don't know, 4.0. That's more or less 10 centimeters. So we connect this one over here, and there you go. We have all those divisions, and I want to set this one to maybe 3 inches, right there. Excellent. In each one of those points, I would love to place a construction plane. So analysis, perpendicular frames, there, from the curves analysis, you would find perpendicular frames. We are going to select the curve, the original curve, and place all those construction planes at these distances, right there. Notice that on my computer, display, preview, I have set my construction plane to 1. I'm going to set it maybe to 5. There. By default, it's set to 8. I usually change the value, but I know at the end I will turn off the display because these are infinite construction planes. All right. So now we are ready to create the rectangles that will form the chair. Excellent. Curves, primitives, and there you see, there you find the rectangle. So drag and drop one of these right there. right there. So we already know the points, we already know the construction planes. So I would like at this moment to disable the preview of those two. They do bother me a lot. Now, we connect the construction planes to the rectangle, and we proceed to enter the values for X and Y. So before I do that, do notice that it is asking for a domain. It's not asking for a single value. It is asking for a domain. So we can accomplish that by doing this. Go to the math department, select the domain, and copy paste. We need two of them. At the same time that we are in the math department, I would like you to drag and drop the negative. What it is, it multiplies any value by -1. So drag and drop this one over here, and they are on sale today, so we can get two of them. And at this point, we can create the numeric sliders. So for the value of X, I would like to make a slider, double click, that goes from 0.5 to 2.0. And maybe 2 decimal places, 0.5 to 2.00. Enter. And you input the value to A. You also input the value to multiplication by -1, and you connect this one to B. And the result of the domain goes to X. And the reason for doing so is this. If I go 1 inch to the top, it also goes 1 inch to the bottom. So notice that the domain says 1 positive, 1 negative. Beautiful. So maybe the thickness of each piece of wood is going to be 0.5. 0.5 plus 0.5, 1 inch thick. Excellent. So we have that problem solved. The next one, the next slider, is going to be maybe from 10 inches to 24 inches, 0.0, 1 decimal place. Enter. So here we go. We connect this one to A, we connect the minus to B, and we connect this one to Y. Beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful. So we have 5% of the definition already. We should be happy. It's working, and at this point, just in case, I want to save 002 chair. Just in case something happens to my chair, I can fix it really, really fast. Excellent. Now, the second step is going to be a little bit tricky, but a lot of fun. I want you to copy this original curve. You can select it, press the Alt key, and move with the gumball the curve outside. And that would make a copy of that object. If you do not know how to use the gumball, you will bring coffee for everyone tomorrow morning, because that's something that you really, really need to use in Rhino. Now, we are going to select and divide that curve. So let's do that. Curve and the parameters. Right click, select, and we are going to Control G, we are going to call this one select the magnet. So that curve is going to be our magnet. And we are going to divide this curve, but with a different component. So we go to curves, division, and divide curve. So drag and drop one of these. Let me push this one up here so that we can move this one up here just a little bit. There. So we need to divide the magnet. May I ask, with how many points? What would be the number of segments that we need to divide that curve with? Anyone? That's a piece of cake. Okay, with the number of points, hey, Andrew, n minus 1. Because look, this is giving 18, right? Since this is an open curve and we use 18, it will give us 19. So we have to set it to 18 minus 1. And how do I find that number? How do I find that 18 least length? Perfect. Perfect. So here we go. Set least length. We connect the points from the original curve to n. And right there, we can right click, write an expression, and x minus 1. Don't forget, x minus 1. Say, okay, I like that. We are fine. And now we have the points that we were looking for. So let me push all of these over here. We have the points. We have the original points. So we are ready to do it. Vectors. Well, what I'm going to do now, and let me just draw it over here so that you understand the process. I'm going to measure the distance in between this point and that point. In between this point and that point. And based on that distance, the result from that distance is what is going to replace this numeric slider. So very simple. Go to vectors, distance in between 18 points on my computer and 18 points on my computer. So double check that you have the same number of points. And this distance is going to control the width of the chair. This is a great time to disable the preview, and if we turn on the control points F10 and we push one of these just to the center, look at the shape. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so we have, and let me save it. We have more or less 25% of the definition. So now we need to unroll, label, dimension, and organize all of them from the smallest to the largest. Perfect. Up to here, any questions? Oh, why, Javier? That's a great question. That's a very important question. And let me answer it to you. If you measure the length of the original curve as it is right now, let's say that the value, I have no idea the length of my curve, but I can calculate it really fast right here. So the length of that curve on my computer is 54. All right? There, I'm so glad that you got it so fast. Perfect. But since I changed the control points on the magnet, look at this. This is 54 now. So the original is 52 and the new one is 54. So if I use this component, I might get 2 or 3 extra points. Okay, so we have to be careful with that. I'm going to leave the length. It doesn't hurt. Perfect. And let me move all of these over here. Perfect. So now we are ready to unroll everything and label it. And not only that, we have to organize all the pieces from the smallest to the largest. Perfect. And we will leave a little homework so that you can have fun with that part. Here we go. Transform. Orient. We find the orient under transform. So what is it that we want to orient? We want to orient the rectangles. Now, this is a great moment. This is a great moment to ask something really important also. I'm going to put it really fast. It's up to you if you want to do it too. But I could go to surface, make a planar surface right there on each one of these rectangles and extrude all of them with how much? Well, I need the amplitude. So if I go to vectors, there is the amplitude. So here is extrude straight. Here you will find under vectors, you will find the amplitude. And may I ask, do we know in which direction we have to extrude each one of those tables, each one of those flat surfaces? Oh, no, Andrew. Karim, normal, do we know the normal? Fontana, you have 50% of the answer. Yes, perfect. Thank you. So there we go. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and here is the tangent. They gave it to us. That's the vector. So let me push all of these up here. And how much do you want to extrude it? I don't know, 1/4 of an inch to maybe 2.0. There. So some people love to see the thickness there. They love to see the thickness of each one of those pieces of wood. So now they can be happy. They can even paint it if they want to. That's the Victoria's Secret. I don't want that color. I want to paint it like wood there. I don't know, something like there. Okay? Now, question. Which is more important if we are going to take this information either to the laser, to the plasma machine, or to the CNC machine? Do you think the rectangle or the solid? Which one is more important? Anyone else? Nobody likes the solid? We need somebody to likes the solid so that we can get free coffee tomorrow. Oh, okay, somebody. Perfect. Yes. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful. And yes, this could be really nice if you are doing a rendering, right? You need to render it, get the customer, and then go to production. But for the production, this is the important part, the rectangle. Perfect. Now, we want to orient. And let me see, I want to make sure to zoom in as big as possible so that the definition is clear. Now, we need to orient all these rectangles. We have that into G. Now, where do we have the construction planes that belong to each one of those rectangles? The frames. Thank you. There. So we go over here and we bring the frames. And now we do not have the construction planes on the floor where we want to unroll, where we want to orient all these rectangles. So let's make all of them right here. Sets. I would like you to drag and drop a series. Perfect. Now, how many rectangles do we have? Do we know that number? Do we know that number? 18. But I want to copy one more so that it's clear. So I'm going to measure how many construction planes we have and just place it over here. And let us create a numeric slider which is going to help us set the gap in between each one of those construction planes on the floor. So we want to go, let's say, start with 1 and go up to 10.0. From 1 to 10.0. And right there, we are going to place a little dot. Point X. And in each one of these points, you don't have to, but I love to do it, I'm going to place an XY plane. And so we got the series from sets. We got list length from sets. We got Mr. Point from vectors. And we got the XY construction plane from vectors. And if you do not believe me, there we have the construction planes on the floor, and the distance in between them is controlled from here. You see how nice? It's controlled from here. So now all we need to do is to connect this one over there. Bingo. There. We have all the pieces on the floor. I am going to turn off the construction planes so that they don't bother me. And also, I can get a numeric slider, let's say from 0 to 25, and change the y-axis so that these two are not one on top of the other. So you see how easy you can move all of them to a brand new location. Perfect. Perfect. So now we need to label it. Do I think that we can change the thickness of the model in Rhino? We don't have anything in Rhino yet. We only have 2 curves. Do you mean after we bake them? Think about that question and let me know. And I'll give you an idea of how you can change the thickness of all of them after you went through the process of baking them. Okay? I think you can. Now, we need to label them. We need to label them. So here we go. I would like you to go back to sets, drag and drop a series, but this time you are going to start at 1 and the step value is going to be 1. Sorry, right there. So you start at 1, the step value is 1, and you don't want 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 because the carpenter is going to have a heart attack. They are not used to these numbers. They are used to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So I would like you to, under parameters, just plug an integer in front of it. That will fix all those decimal places that we have. And how many numbers do we need? Is given right there. Perfect. We are ready to do it. We go to display, and under display, there you see it, tag 3D. Drag and drop one of those components And let me move this as much as possible over here. So Grasshopper needs to know the location. We know the location. It needs to know the list of values is right here. And now we can check that we have the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. You can change the size and you can change the color. I'm going to change the color really fast there. And if you want to justify, it's from 0 to 8. And I know 8 is centered. Oh, Michelle, is quite easy. It's quite easy. And let me give you a little tip. If I go to display and I drag and drop a tag 3D, this is what I do sometimes. If you got nothing to do during the weekends, nothing to do during the weekends, this is just another game that you can use. You can right click on each one of them and extract parameter. There. Oh, how about this? Oh, that's really cool. How about this? Ooh, how about this? This is a color, this is a number, this is a letter, and this is a construction plane. And justification, another number. So there. This is how you might be able to find out what each one of these. Perfect. Now, but this is 50%. This is 50% of the definition. Now, we need to organize all these pieces from the smallest to the largest. All right? So notice, just on purpose, I'm going to push maybe this control point, maybe those two, just a little bit there. Now, any suggestions? How do we organize? How do we organize all of them in order from the smallest to the largest? Sort the area. Let's do just that. Here we go. Surface. M2. So now we have the value for the area. So let us sort the value. Set, sort, and let us organize all of these based on the area. All right? So now we can calculate one more time the area of each one of these, just to get the centroid, and we can orient. Orient what? Orient all of these. This is the center of each one of them. And where would you like to orient them? At this point, I'm going to disable all of these and connect this one over here. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Let me see if I can move this one down here so that we can zoom in. And this is just a demo, so I'm going to demo. Okay. Javier, that's the homework. That's the homework. All right. This is the homework so that we can pass to another exercise. Notice that as we have it, this is labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's not the position. That's not related to the position on the chair. I would like for these numbers to represent the position on my chair. Can we leave that as a homework for tomorrow? Any questions on that type of homework? Which, by the way, is quite easy. It's very, very easy to understand. And yes, we can bake it. We can bake this. Let's say on layer 01, make it a group so I can manipulate it. And now I can move this anywhere I want. There. Okay. Undo. Let's bake this one as a group. And let's bake also the numbers as a group. So now we can get those two and put them over here. Okay. Francesco has one question, which is related to, are you talking about this one, perpendicular frames, by any chance? Okay, yes. Let me save this definition, which, as you notice, is a little bit uh, large. Let me move this one over here, closer. Make sure we save it, and let me go over those two, the P frame and P frames. Very simple, but I am going to leave this definition as it is, and tomorrow we will check for the homework, which is very useful, by the way. So let me close this one, and I'm going to delete all of this, delete this one, go to the top, and on the top I'm going to draw a very simple curve. And let me show you the 2 or 3 options that we have. Number 1 is right here. We have perpendicular frame, and we also have horizontal frame, and we also have horizontal and perpendicular frames. So I'm going to use perpendicular frames right there. Now let's bring the curve. We need it. All right. And notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to drag and drop a numeric slider that is already preset from 0 to 1. If you don't like that, you can type 1.00, enter. Connect the curve to the perpendicular frame, but I am going to right click and reparametricize the curve so that the length of the curve looks like it is 1 unit. So I will be able, if you notice on my computer, I will be able to move my perpendicular frame from 0 to 1. That's the perpendicular frame. Please notice that I can connect 2 and have 2 of them or more at the same time. So if I do the same with the horizontal frame, I can take those 2 and place them over here. And let me reparametricize. And you see the differences? This is perpendicular, this is horizontal. All right? And the last one is quite easy. It is asking for how many? How many do you want? So I'm going to set this one to 5. Select the curve, right? And connect how many. So let me delete all of these and there. This is really cool. I love this one because you get the construction planes and you can rotate as they go along the curve. You can rotate the construction planes. That would be a nice exercise to do if we have time. We use it for jewelry. If you see all those buildings in Dubai, you know, where they get twisted, we were able to see, you know, live the Shanghai Tower that rotates only like 46, 45 degrees from the bottom to the top, and it's so beautiful. So each floor rotates maybe 25% of a degree as it goes from the ground up. Okay, so let us continue. Let us continue, and we are going to see something really simple, but many people ask questions about it. Since we have like more or less 12, 13 minutes, I'm going to leave more time for the next exercise. Any questions with this one? Would you like to do like a tower and rotating each one of the floors? That won't take 4 minutes, 5 minutes. But I think we did that in level 101, Introduction to Grasshopper. So let me delete all of these. Yeah, rotate and scale random. That will be cool. But before we get off the track, let's make sure I go over this. I would like you to drag and drop a circle. Let me stretch. This is a very simple exercise. And a numeric slider that goes from 1 to 10, 0.0, from 1 to 10, there. And I need maybe 1 and 2. That's it. Very simple. Very, very light exercise. And what I want to do is a remote control for this little definition. So I would like you to go to the view pull down menu, and the first one says remote control. So open that up. There. Perfect. So the remote control comes completely empty. It doesn't have anything. All right? So this is how we are going to fill it up. Let's change the label of this one. This is R1. This is going to be R2. And this is going to be R3. Perfect. Now that we have that, if we right click over here, notice that if you scroll down almost to the end, it allows you to send this numeric slider to the remote control. So left click, bingo, we have one. How about this one? Publish, that's the second, and publish, that's the third. And we can edit. We can edit the remote control there. We can add spaces in between there, and we can move it. Let's add another one right there. We can add more groups if we want to, and labels. And as soon as I turn off the editing, notice that I can disable Grasshopper and only use the remote control. So if I save this definition, if I come over here, say save 003 remote control, right? Sure. So I did save this definition, right? I'm going to close it. I'm going to close it. And I'm going to start a brand new one. And this is going to be circle. Then a planar surface right there. And then maybe extrude. Extrude in the Z direction. So we go to vectors, Z, right there. So we need a value for R and a value for the Z vector. So the value for R is going to be from 1 to 10, 10.0. And the name of this is enter radius. All right, we connected over here. And the value for the thickness is just that. Let's say from 1 to 25.0. And the label is going to be thickness and we can connect this one over here. So notice that we have two numeric sliders. So we can go to view, open up the remote control, and notice that the remote control, and don't forget, the remote control comes from the view pull-down menu. So let me open it right there. The control remote is empty. So we need to send the information to the remote control. So we right click, send it. There we have one. Right click and send it. All right. And don't forget that we can edit. We can add a space in between. We can add a label right there. And we can add more groups if you have more groups. All right. There. So now, if I save this, let's say this is a any title. So you right click and you can edit this title. And there you go. It's as simple as that. If I save this definition, 004 remote control 002, it should be there. So now I'm going to close it. I'm going to close it. I'm going to open the remote control, the first. Notice that the remote control does not appear unless you open it. And there you have it. So sometimes on my personal definitions, I group something like this and I label this more or less with this title: units, inches, C-plane, XY, control or remote control. Yes. So when I open up my definition, oh my God. Oh, I am working in millimeters. So I have to change it. Oh, I'm working in the front. Construction plane. No. I have to go to XY, construction plane. And it does have a remote control. So if it does have a remote control, I can go to display and open it. And if you want to know another one that I love to add, is this one. Stages, yes. And I love this one. I love this one. Look at this. This is so cool. Let's say this one is at 4, this one is at 5, and this one is at 8. Right? I can go to Solutions, pull down menu, Save a State, and label it. So this is option 1. I change this one to 10, this one to 2, and I save this one option 2. And now it is really, and let me save it, really easy for me to say, oh, restore option 1, bingo. restore option 2. Bingo. So sometimes I have maybe 3 presets so that I don't have to change my definition while I am doing a presentation. All I do is, for example, this is with a piece of wood with 3/4 of an inch. There, do you like it? Or would you like to use maybe 2 inches? There you see it. Boom. Okay. Any questions with the remote control? Oh, Mitchell. Mitchell, you are not the only one having nightmares. I have been asking for that too. I think, well, I think you cannot, you have to have Rhino, Grasshopper, but you can minimize it. I mean, it will be really nice to have like a script that will open up Grasshopper, open up a specific definition, and I know you can do that. I know for sure you can do that. But what I do not know is if you can also open the remote control of that definition. That will be something that we can ask to maybe one of the software developers. Well, after the break, Mary, we are going to use that component. Javier, I can show you. We are going to do an exercise like a bookshelf, doing the notches and unrolling everything once we understand the trees tomorrow. And I will show you a few techniques that I personally use, and they have to do with this. I love to use this. A stream gate, and stream filters. And the next exercise that we're going to do is going to use those two a lot. So sometimes, whenever I want to do Boolean operations, it's up to me. I choose whenever Rhino and Grasshopper are going to do those Boolean operations. So I use a lot the value list or even the Boolean toggle. And I say, unroll, do not unroll, things like that to make Grasshopper to run a little bit faster. Yes, tomorrow, the whole day tomorrow is going to be trees. We have to see flatten, graft. We have to see this one. We have to understand the parameter viewer. We have to be able to explode the tree and rebuild it the way we want. So for tomorrow, it's a good time to buy tons of coffee. Perfect.
Are we ready for break, Andreas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are ready.
Super. Okay, well, let me stop the recording.